While we're doing that, Cody, how you doing today?
Good afternoon, everyone. Steve, sir, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
So,
So
Alrighty.
we're got
Can you hear me
Hurricane.
now?
Yes, I can, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you guys?
Thanks.
You just came on stage like Jim Carrey, like, alrighty then.
Sorry
Sorry,
about
a
the
little
late
broken up.
entry here.
Oh, I could hear everyone.
yeah, sounds good. How's everybody doing? Hey, guys, David, Bandroids, Moon.
Yeah, you're a little bit broken up. I don't know if it's just me, Cody, or can you guys hear Cody okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can.
I could hear him just fine.
Okay, so it's just me then. That I'm probably the one that's all right on. Good stuff. Well, thank you again, guys, for being here. We got, like I said, Bandroids here. Welcome to space number 52. You know, we usually talk about EverGrow, LunaSky, NFT Marketplace, Lucro, Atlas Vault, and all that stuff. So pleasure to have you guys all here today. Thank you for sharing your Saturdays with the rest of the EGC fam. Normally we do the news, crypto news and all that stuff, and there's plenty of it. But today we have our special guest. We have Bandroids, who is a music NFT project that has partnered with LunaSky NFT Marketplace. So exciting. So please give these guys a very, very warm welcome. Buddro and David Schuler, thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. So yeah, if I don't know, Buddro, if you want to go first, maybe
Sure.
we kind of talked a little bit this morning. Yeah, we just want to basically, you know, we're a pretty close family in here.
Mhm.
And so we're so grateful that you guys chose LunaSky as your platform for Bandroids. Awesome. Hassan, good to see you. Denny, how are you doing? EverGrow or Bust, Onyx Mercer, good to see you, man. I'm going to go ahead and bring Buddro up here to speak. We got Joel M, Simon, and we got Moon Android, CWP. Thank you so much. EGC Mike, hi Savior, good to see you too. Will Herson, like I said, and EGC Rubicon. Exponential EverGrow. We also got official Bandroids here. Going to give you guys the mic so you can speak. Who else we got here? Adam H. Good to see you, man. Thanks for your contribution in Discord. Shade. What else we got here? Landon and Zoltan Kovacs. Who else we got? Ed Hopkins. Good to see you. And Willie. Well, I hope you guys are having a good week. And thank you so much for being here today. Moon Android. I'm going to give you the speaker here just 1 second. Moon, how you doing, man?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't make it on the last one, but I was definitely coming this
No
one.
worries at all. No worries at all. I'm just going to wait for Buddro. I gave you the invited you to speak. Let me try one more time, just in case it didn't work out. And if you are on desktop, it may not work. I don't know, Moon. Have you tried it on desktop? I heard they changed it up. I heard they changed that you could actually use.
It's weird because even before they did that, I knew some people who were able to do it on desktop. I don't know how.
Interesting. We got Mr. Black here. Cody, thanks for being here today. David Schuler, thanks for joining in. David is part of the Bandroids team, co-founder. Thank you for being here, sir. How are you today?
I'm good. How we doing?
Doing great. Doing great. You have a good week?
Yeah, you know, just yeah, it's an exciting time. Yeah, between you know, everything with Bandroids and LunaSky, and yeah, it's really cool. Thank you for
Exciting
having
times,
us.
huh?
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It looks like Cody just got connected. I don't know if Buddro was able to connect or if he's having issues.
Oh, can you make the Bandroids account the speaking account, actually?
Invite the Bandroids account, you said?
Yeah, I'm texting with
Sorry,
him
you're
now.
broken up there for a minute. What was that again?
Yeah, if you can make the Bandroids account the speaking account.
Sure.
That'd be
Give me
great.
1 second here.
I'm texting with him now.
You got it.
All your dirty clothes are scattered across the floor.
I can't believe I just minted one of the Beat Bros for 69 ETH.
Isn't that just another artificially intelligent music project?
Yeah, man, aren't they so cool? Everyone's talking about it. They're blowing up.
Great. Another AI music project? What's next? More useless animal PFPs?
More useless animal PFPs. More AI music NFTs.
Excuse me, Mr. Rug Puller? Are you worried that the androids have become more self-aware lately? We caught a group of them listening to Drake last week in the break room.
Nonsense, you blundering buffoon! The only way these foolish robots could undermine me would be to learn how to make a music project of their own.
That's the thing, sir. Data shows that they've been downloading lessons on music theory and music production, and we did not program them to do that.
Silence! If these sentient tin cans think they can make a better NFT project than mine, then let them try.
Confirmed.
Sir, they're also programmed to follow your verbal commands.
Initiating new program.
Wait! No!
Let us try.
Do something, you fool!
It's too late, sir. They're no longer just ordinary androids. They're...
I'm a machine, yeah. I put in that work, I get my dreams. I'm a machine, yeah. I grind every day, it is obscene.
Audio line 1.
I'm a machine, yeah. I grind every day, it is obscene. I'm a machine, yeah. I put in that work, I get my dreams.
So if you don't mind, maybe just share with everyone a little bit about yourself and about kind of maybe how Bandroids started.
Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you, guys. I just want to start off by saying I personally am an EverGrow maxi. I'm not even a day one holder. I'm an hour one holder. I came across EverGrow like randomly on a Reddit thread on, what is it, September 25th, I believe, 2021. Threw $100 in there by Halloween that year. That $100 turned into 50 grand, and I never sold. I really believed in the whole project and an ecosystem that generates revenue for its utilities and its holders. I thought that was brilliant. So I've always been an EverGrow supporter, and my partners Dave and Tom can attest to that. So we have definitely been watching you guys, on the sidelines for the past year or so, just seeing how you guys develop and evolve. So that's how we're familiar with EverGrow and LunaSky. I myself, I'm a professional music producer and songwriter, signed to Sony Worldwide Publishing about 10 years ago, worked with a bunch of major label artists from domestically and internationally. We've seen a bit of success over in Korea, doing a lot of K-pop stuff. I don't know if people are familiar with K-pop, but worked with, Maroon 5, Chris Daughtry, a lot of major names. Dave is a Grammy-nominated producer and songwriter. Has worked with Pink, John Legend, and a bunch of people. And so we came up with Bandroids in, I think, December of 2021, right, Dave? Something like that?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. And we wrote, the gist of the project in an elevator pitch right now is we wrote 1,000 songs, 1,000 original songs across 40 genres of music. There are 5,000 Bandroids. Each Bandroid comes with the art and an audio stem, the vocals, bass, guitar, drums, synth of any given song. There are 5 Bandroids that make up one band. And so we thought it would be very, very cool to give basically an NFT a real use case, which would be to transfer song ownership, to play around with song ownership, to have the ability to see your Bandroid perform live in both a real event and a virtual event, and we can go through that later. But that's the gist, and we made this incredible narrative world, and that's Bandroids.
Yeah, if you go to bandroids.io, you got a nice little kind of a nice little cartoon that you guys made up. It looks amazing, and you guys did a really, really good job on that.
Thank you. Yeah. So Dave is also a phenomenal screenwriter and graphic designer, and he headed over the whole animation department.
Awesome. So what was the when you guys kind of thought up the whole idea of Bandroids, was there something in your mind when you guys created it that there was like something like an impetus that happened?
For sure. Yeah. So, as I'm sure we can all recall, 2021 was like NFT fucking fever. And we were seeing a lot of awesome sort of original world building, narrative based projects. I mean, even with, something like the apes, like, they weren't necessarily establishing a narrative from the beginning. I think their world building kind of grew as the project grew. But just, like I think Cool Cats in particular, like they were always very focused on like world building and, like an immersive, more like multimedia type of experience through the NFTs. But, we were seeing this take place and we were like, well, nobody's really adopting this and including like in a massive amount of original music. There was a lot of AI generated music projects, and while I think like some of them are super cool, it's also kind of like it's a bit antithetical to our sort of creative instincts, because we're musicians first and foremost. We make music first and foremost. And we were like, what if we did something just completely psychotic and we did an NFT drop, but that drop included, it was a drop comparable to other projects, but what if we had a song for each of these artists? What if we made 1,000 different bands, 1,000 different fictional bands that were created by generative art in the smart contracts, but lived within this world and within this aesthetic, and we established this narrative in this world called Fudville. And essentially the backstory behind Bandroids is that there's 5,000 sentient androids working for this guy named Richie Rugpuller, who's this bajillionaire in Fudville, turning out shitty NFTs. And then one day he accidentally prompts them to go rogue, and they all get up and leave after they've downloaded like music code and music theory and like music production lessons. And then they just invade Fudville and they start 1,000 bands. So we were like, how do we make 1,000 songs? Where does that process even begin? Because, like Steve and myself, we produced, I think, anywhere between 180 to 100 to 120 of the songs each. But, we worked with a lot of our friends to sort of realize the music. It took a very long time to put it together. We had to set up the business first. We made sure that the infrastructure was properly in place. But anyways, it's a very roundabout, long-winded way of saying that our goal was to sort of stick a flag in the ground and be like, hey, when it comes to original music NFTs, we may not be an artist per se, but we have created 1,000 generative artists, and you can collect those artists like trading cards, like NFTs. You can trade them, and if you collect all 5 members of the same band, you can burn that band and own that song and own the copyright. You can own the master. You can own the publishing. And, that of course uncorks a whole other conversation about, okay, well, if I'm just a music consumer and I'm a fan of music and I suddenly own the rights to a song, well, what do I do with that? What value does that have beyond the actual NFT itself? Well, for one, you've then burned 5 of the NFTs within the Genesis batch off, and you've created, essentially a one-of-one super rare. But then we have the resources within, just our network and our just sort of whole Bandroids world to help you try and monetize that music, to try and help you to pitch it out for licensing opportunities, for sync opportunities, for film and TV trailer opportunities, for placement opportunities, all these different things that we want to help facilitate. And, we're not really sure how many people will actually want to sort of take part in that level of activation, but we wanted to make it available and make it known that like this is potentially the future of music transfership. And and then it goes beyond that. If you go to bandroids.io, you can listen to all of this music right now, and our music player is patent pending. We believe that stems are the future of music distribution. And I'm just dropping so much information right now. It's been a long road to get here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a really long, hard year and a half.
We've actually done things a little bit differently than other NFT projects. In the past, a lot of NFT projects, they kind of generate a lot of hype based on a lot of air. We did the opposite. We built. So we wrote all 1,000 songs. All the art is finished. And by the way, every single piece of material that was created for Bandroids has no AI affiliation. There's no AI music. There's no AI art. This is all human generated, human made. That's a We want to really make that a strong point. So
But
yeah,
I think just to interject there, what we're not necessarily trying to do is become like the arch nemesis of anything AI generated, because like let's be honest, everyone's going to consume AI content in one way, shape, or form or another. It's inevitable. It's kind of like Thanos, like, it's coming. Like it is what it is, right? So we're not trying to push back against the AI of it all. We're just trying to make it clear that like the scale of our project, sometimes we've found that it can be kind of hard to digest at first. So we want to make it known that it is handmade. Because I think a lot of things are, slowly sort of tipping away from being handmade. So it's important for us.
Well, if that was an elevator sales pitch, I forgot what floor I was going to be on, because that was pretty. that was a pretty remarkable. There's a lot. We could probably talk for an hour, or longer, on everything you just unpacked there. Pretty amazing work, you guys.
Thanks,
really,
man.
Really amazing work.
And also too, just to note, the initial we're going to be rolling these things out in a tiered approach. So the initial mint will be art only, followed by the distribution of music. We definitely hope and expect to sell out. However, that is dependent on the distribution of music. Just want to be super transparent about that.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And you guys had touched on this earlier, but I mean, you guys had worked with 30 plus Grammy nominated songwriters too. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, we led a team of about 30 plus songwriters and producers, and internationally too. I mean, all over the world. Is really kind of an amazing team that we coalesced here. And yeah, we have. I mean, so just to kind of break it down, in our music player, if you go to bandroids.io and click Hear the Music, our own proprietary music player pops up, kind of like our own version of Spotify. And we have 4 core genres. We have rock, pop, electronic, and hip hop. And then we have 10 subgenres under each of those main genres. So like, under rock, we have indie rock, hair metal, gent, pop punk, alternative, classic rock, punk, metalcore, right? Under pop, we've got like synth pop, electro pop, indie pop, pixel pop, crypto candy. We've made some of our own unique genres that are kind of fun. Under electronic, we have progressive house, dubstep, new disco, trance, synthwave. I mean, we really wanted to be incredibly authentic to every single genre, and you can hear it in the music. These aren't dinky little jingles that we've made. These are hits. I mean, I have to say so myself. Like these are top tier quality music. So I really invite everybody to go and listen to the songs. We also have a playlist called Hot 30, which is our version of like the Billboard Hot 100, and it will automatically generate the most popular songs that are being listened to within that Hot 30. But yeah, we've got such a diverse array of music, and the quality is just outstanding.
I think we should also probably pin that the songs are bite size.
Right.
So these aren't like, we didn't make 1,000 3-minute songs.
Right.
They're about 40 seconds to 60 seconds each.
Yeah.
And, part of that was, just, committing to a length of music that we knew we could execute on properly. But also just with, today's day and age, I mean, like myself, I've done a lot of my side gigs have been over the years just composing music for like whatever national brand, and those ads were typically 30 seconds long, 40 seconds long. TikToks are like a minute or less, so we were kind of like keeping that in mind while we were writing the songs. So yeah, just to be totally clear, we didn't make like 100 full-length albums.
Right. However, though, we will be having a future roadmap activation once we've minted and everything. Is we will be having like either popularity contests or competitions to see which artist or which song we will build out into a full-length record or potentially an album. Those are definitely options on the table in the future.
Out of curiosity, with all the choices for NFT marketplaces out there, why LunaSky?
Yeah, so a couple of reasons. I mean, one, because I'm personally an EverGrow massive fan, so I've been aware of it, and I told Dave and Tom about it, and they're now big fans of LunaSky as well. But secondly, we've seen this unfortunate trend, which I know is becoming very visible actually, like right now, where these massive marketplaces like OpenSea and Blur are completely eliminating the royalty aspect of the NFT. And I personally think that defeats the purpose of an NFT, especially when it comes to creators. I mean, it's yet again like another knock on the creators. I mean, first, it was like major labels, taking away royalties for songwriters and artists, and now it's in Web3, which is just very disheartening. So LunaSky has made it very clear that they're going to be honoring creator royalties, and that's a huge part of Bandroids. I mean, we have over 30 people who've put in their heart and soul into this project. And, we really value the royalty aspect of the NFT.
It's unfortunate because, a lot of like OpenSea and they've, in order to maintain there's this war of tier number 1, tier number 2, right? Who's got the top spot. And in order to be more competitive, they feel like they have to hurt the artist and take away from the artist. And I really think they forgot what got them there. And that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's the same old story. It's just wrapped in a different mechanism nowadays, but it's unfortunate. But that's why LunaSky is going to prevail and become number 1. Am I right?
100%. I think everybody here will agree that we're coming, and we're going to come hard, and we're going to come fast. And I don't think they're going to know what's happened to them, honestly.
Yeah.
Luna, what?
Thing too. Oh, go ahead.
You already know Luna, what? Who's that? Yeah. Well, by the time they figure it out, we're already there. So.
And another thing too, I just want to for us to be clear on is that we will be primarily an ETH-based project. However, because we love EverGrow and LunaSky, and we want to give like a token of appreciation, a percentage of the initial mint will be in Lucro. So the allotment, the amount of the percentage of the amount of Bandroids to be minted on Lucro is to be determined, but for sure a portion will be on Lucro.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys even, so this is kind of this, like we've talked about before, this kind of whole ecosystem, right? It isn't just about LunaSky, but it's about kind of working this entire ecosystem and how you aren't just a project to us. You're literally, you're part of this kind of family, this sort of small group of people. Even though we want to get big, we want to remember where we came from, and we're going to promote you. We're going to support you guys. And that's what we're here for.
Absolutely, and that's what we love. And another thing too, I mean, I'm familiar with the abstract, as I'm sure a lot of people on this spaces is, they're familiar with them as well. And it would be awesome to partner with them, because one of our other long-term visions is to have a metaverse land space for Bandroids, right? Because we want people to experience their Bandroid performing live. Right? How cool would it be to own the song or own the band and see them perform live, right? I think that's just nuts.
That would be pretty incredible.
Right. So we think that would be phenomenal. We've actually trademarked the name, for all you degens out there. We've trademarked the name WAGME Fest, right? We want that to be our Bandroids Coachella, if you will, right? So we want to have like a bunch of artists perform in real life. We would love to have, the Bandroids characters projected on a screen with actual live musicians, behind it, playing the Bandroids material, and then in the virtual space have the actual Bandroids performing. So that is one of the future goals of the company.
That just sounds amazing. I cannot wait to see how this all develops.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your vision. It's pretty amazing to see kind of where you are and where you can be. And what a journey. You said you started in 2021, is that right?
Yeah, we came up with the idea, I think, in December of 2021. We had an angel investor invest in us in January of 22, and we've been working our butts off ever since then.
And for those people who might be curious, I mean, are you accepting any more investment, or is that closed?
It's a very good question. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the status is on that right now. We have to think about it. As of, we would like to potentially open it up, but I think we're focusing on minting as of right now.
Okay, I just figured I'd ask because somebody's going to ask that question.
Sure.
Yeah. Would you be guys okay with maybe some community questions if they have them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on. If you guys have a question for David or Steve, just please put up your hand. I'm more than welcome to bring you up. And Cody, Rocket, I want to thank you guys for just the teamwork and bringing Bandroids to LunaSky. Really appreciate it, man. This is exactly, what I envision for LunaSky to be is this really tight knit community where we all come together, right? We all have the same vision of supporting artists and profiting from it too, right? So thank you. Really appreciate it. Cody, I don't know if you wanted to speak to that.
I'm happy to just echo what you just said. Yeah, so that is the entire goal of LunaSky, is to support creators, and beyond just the traditional surface level of quoting support, right? I mean, the whole purpose is, just like you've seen a lot in the past couple of days, it's been tweeted, it's made by creators for creators. This is a home. This is not a platform for the owners of a marketplace to profit from. This is a platform for creators and communities to live, to exist, to launch, to develop, right? So that's what LunaSky is all about. And Bandroids, we've had a lot of conversations with them, Rocket and myself, and I have enjoyed every single one of them. I don't think there needs to be any convincing already in this short amount of 15 minutes, right, that these guys are the real deal. They are. These are very experienced, very tenured creators and professionals from their fields. So it's just a real blessing to have something like that, or some a project like that approach us, and be interested to come to LunaSky as their first mint, So we're super pumped. And as a lifelong musician and instructor myself, I think everybody knows me well enough to know that I am just giddy about it. So there we go. Giddy is the word.
And I just want to quickly speak to what you just said, because I feel like it is important, but I would actually say we have all of the convincing to do. And I think that that's a direct reflection of a number of projects that have, especially during, I guess, like the most bullish period of the NFT craze, just setting false expectations, making empty promises, and falling through. And it's like, for us, while we were working towards getting this whole thing together, we were watching, not only as the market collapsed last year, but we were just watching all these projects just fucking rug everybody, and everyone losing their asses, and and just the whole sort of, like, I don't know, like the climate, or like I hate to say the word climate, it's so stock, but like just the whole temperature of the NFTs, like, it just plummeted because people were just, they would make a shit ton of money, and then somebody would leave the company, or they would mint at a huge price because sure, it seemed like it was valuable at the time, and then like, market dictates everything, and even after, like, some of the recovery took place earlier this year, those projects didn't follow suit. And I think that those projects didn't follow suit because they haven't delivered on their community expectations. So what's really important for us, we just want the opportunity to deliver, and for the work to speak for itself. We're obviously going to pitch the living shit out of this project to everyone that's interested, but none of us are interested in setting some kind of false expectation. We just want to get to work and start building this thing out. We want to make a project that's affordable for everybody at mint, so that everyone can kind of grow with us. And it's just, I think it's a really important sentiment for us to echo right now, in the wake of all of the drama and all of the losses and the heartache and the deep pockets that have run dry in this space. It's like, we're not trying to do that. Like, we just want to make something dope, and we want to make great friends, and we want to do it over a long period of time and sustain it.
And do it the right way.
Yeah, these are some of the things, and I'm glad you mentioned that, David. These are exactly some of the things that right off the bat attracted me personally to those first conversations we had. Those are the things I picked up on right off the bat, was just the legitimacy of, you wanted to work. Like you said earlier in this conversation today, instead of going out there and hyping and pitching all the things, you guys were just working. It's been since 2021, and here you are 2 years later, and you've put in the time, you've put in the work, and now you're ready for that next step. And we're here to support you in any way we can, and we're here to help you in any way we can. And welcome to the family.
Thank you, guys. And we love Cody and Rocket as well. Amazing supporters and giving amazing advice.
Thank you guys so much. CWP, did you have a question for David or Steve?
Not a question as much as One, first, compliments. Um, I am just super impressed with your elevator pitch and what you guys have accomplished. It's just absolutely amazing. And as everyone on here knows, I'm old, but I'm not old school. So this will give you a laugh, no doubt, considering how hard you guys have worked. But I want another 10,000 songs. Um, and I would like for you to include in that as genres jazz and classical, maybe even. And and I can think of some other genres that I think you ought to throw in there and class up the NFT world a little bit.
I appreciate that. No, that's awesome. We were toying with the possibility of having, maybe additional genres in maybe another mint. Maybe that would include country and jazz. That's something that is definitely we're thinking about that for sure. But thank you so much for the kind words. Absolutely.
How about Tibetan throat singing? Because that's a genre I found lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Gregorian chants?
Yeah, with didgeridoos.
Let's go back to '94, yes, and when Gregorian chants blew up, y'all remember that in the mid '90s? Everybody was buying that CD. My dad comes home, the super strict Texas bluesman, listens to nothing but the blues. Comes home and he's bumping the Gregorian chant, and I'm like, "Hey, what you got there?" He's like, "Yeah, man, it's good stuff. Good stuff."
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, CWP. I appreciate that. Does anybody else have some questions for David or Steve? By all means, comment up. Yeah, it's great having you guys with us. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you to the EGC fam, EverGrow Steve, Cody, and Rocket. Thank you, guys, and let's go.
Right on. I appreciate it. Cannot wait. So if you guys, unless you guys have been kind of in a digital detox resort or something, there's an AMA tomorrow with Sam and the team. They're going to provide updates on all utilities coming up. So please make sure you go ahead and add a reminder because you'll get a lot of good news there. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that. I think the last time I looked, it was like 265 people had set a reminder. So thank you, guys. You're more than welcome to hang around and just shoot the breeze while we're kind of covering crypto news and all that stuff, just updates on the projects. But if you guys have bounce, no problem. By all means, thank you again for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. If we want to go ahead and if anyone wants to jump in, the moon, it looks like you want to jump in.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask if you were going to host the AMA tomorrow, Steve.
I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave it to the pros on that one, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I think they haven't given me any inside information, so yeah. But hey, to be continued. I think Paul wants me to work with Atlas, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun.
All right. As far as the Bandroids, I loved hearing you guys talk about it. That's a very cool project, actually. More than anything, I'm just happy to see new people come in, be part of LunaSky, be part of EverGrow, be part of our community, which means so much for so many of us. I'm just happy to see you guys join and be part of this, and hopefully, you can be as successful as possible.
Yeah, right on. A couple comments in there that Hyperbeam just said, "Oh snap, Bandroids NFT just confirmed Degent Metalcore. Let's go." I love it. And Kenny said, "How do I become a part of Bandroids NFT?" Crying emojis. And Crypto Prophet just said, "Just watch Bandroids trailer. This is exciting stuff. Well done, boys." Great comments. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it very much. So like I said, you're more than welcome to hang around. We will just kind of roll in, unless Cody, or Rocket, you guys want to jump in, by all means. If you have anything you want to add, more than happy to. But
I feel like everything was said pretty well there.
yeah, like I said, I forgot what floor I was supposed to get on or off on the elevator. I was like, that was a hell of a pitch, guys.
I guess the only thing I have to add is if you're not already following Bandroid's Twitter, go ahead and follow him. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Cody. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Already did.
Do you guys plan on doing your own little kind of AMAs and stuff like that at some point?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Look forward to it. Good stuff. So, crypto news. So, like I said earlier, unless you've been on vacation in a digital detox resort, you probably saw another drop in crypto, starting with BTC, which has spilled over to the rest of crypto, altcoins, etc. There was an article from Michael Mitchell-Hill, Cointelegraph, which attempts to explain the cause, since there doesn't really seem to be any real consensus. The article goes like this: why did Bitcoin drop? Analysts point to 5 potential reasons. Bitcoin fell approximately 8% in a span of 10 minutes, leaving crypto investors scrambling to make sense of the drop. Apparently, Elon Musk was rumored to have sold Bitcoin through, I think it was SpaceX. And so yeah, around August 18th, around 9:35 p.m. UTC, the price of Bitcoin suddenly plummeted over 8% in a span of 10 minutes, taking the wider cryptocurrency market, leaving many crypto communities scratching their heads. While there appears to be no consensus as why the market suddenly dropped, several crypto market analysts have shared their initial theories with Cointelegraph. SpaceX offloads Bitcoin, interest rate fears. So eToro market analyst Josh Gilbert pinned the drop on a report saying that SpaceX may have offloaded some of its 373 million in BTC holdings, which came from an August 17th article from the Wall Street Journal. Gilbert said there was another theory that the rapid shift in sentiment due to broader market expectations of future interest rate hikes from the US Federal Reserve. He's quoted as saying, if we also consider some of the weaknesses we've seen across global markets, particularly risk assets over the last few weeks, with expectations that rates are likely to stay higher for longer, it was a recipe for a pullback, Gilbert explained. Bitcoin has struggled for a leg higher in the last month, trading in a tight range between 29,000 and 30,000, with good news push the asset higher, which has only exuberated this sell-off. Also, government bond yields. Tina Tang, with market analyst for CMC Markets, shared a different opinion, looking to the recent rise in government bond yields as the root cause behind the sell-off. Tang explained that increasing bond yields typically show a reduction in liquidity for the broader market. This could be the primary reason for cryptocurrencies sank, she said. Additionally, Tang said that while Evergrande crisis could have indirect cause on the BTC price, she didn't believe that it was among the root causes of the decline. This is more of an impact on sentiment towards the Chinese economy and investors, she explained. However, while Tang disregarded the Evergrande crisis as a major reason for BTC's price swing, Matrixport head of research Marcus Thielen, I don't know how to pronounce that right, claimed the risk of the Chinese yuan devaluation may have played a significant role in the sell-off. In August 2015, when China devalued the yuan for the last time, BTC declined 23% during the 2 weeks following the devaluation. Before a more meaningful rally started, Bitcoin finished the year off plus 59% from the level devaluation. And then there's whales selling big. While there were many other news events that could bear responsibility, pseudonym derivative the Flow Horse told Cointelegraph that a sudden move down could have resulted from a single large actor making a big sell, which then resulted in further pressure on derivatives. According to data from the crypto analytics platform CoinGlass, more than 427 million in BTC long positions were liquidated in the 4 hours to time of publication. Over the course of the last 24 hours, there has been more than 822 million in liquidations for traders with open long positions, a bet that the price of crypto asset would move upwards. Describing much of the explanation for the decline is pure speculation, Horse suggested that since the reports of the SEC hinting at approval of an Ethereum futures ETF came moments after the dump, the large fund may have offloaded their Bitcoin position to trigger a cascade to buy ETH. Bitcoin has recovered slightly since the crash, gaining about 1.2% in 2 hours, according to data from TradingView. And at the time of publication, Bitcoin was trading hands at about 26,619. That was rather precipitous. I don't know if you guys had any opinions on it at all, but again, it could be one of those self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Where people sell, and if you see a big sell, you don't want to get left holding a bag, so you sell, and then it creates this domino effect. And the next thing you know, a bunch of people sell, and then you got a pretty big downturn. So I don't know. What do you think, Moon?
Yeah, I was going to mention the Evergrande filing for bankruptcy and defaulting, but then you talked about it, so yeah.
Not much about Evergrande other than the fact that they're a big developer, right?
biggest developer, huge company. I remember last year there were concerns that they were going to default and how much that was going to affect the global markets, but then they didn't, and it happened now. It's too much of a coincidence that BTC suffered so badly exactly when Evergrande, defaults. I think the ramifications will be wide. I think Bitcoin was just the first we saw, but there's more to come. It's pretty bad.
Moon, I agree with you completely. There's another aspect to this that I don't think I haven't seen discussed too much, and that's that Evergrande has a whole lot of properties in the U.S. that they own that are now in default. They've defaulted on bonds with the U.S. government, and in addition to that, there's another company in China whose name escapes me at the moment that advise with them for first place or second place in the real estate market, and they are in deep trouble as well. So there may be some ripples from this that are going to go around the world. There's another thing that I wanted to throw out. My favorite people to bash, the SEC, has delayed about 4 days ago the deadline for the Bitcoin ETF's approval. And that approval and that ETF were a big deal for Bitcoin and Bitcoin maxis. That was an entry into the global financial market that was anticipated and wanted very much. And the SEC just shoved a stick up their butts. That certainly hasn't helped the price of Bitcoin at all.
There's also been this kind of underlying, and I don't think this was kind of a factor here, but there's been a lot of discussion on defaults for commercial property in general in the U.S. because of vacancy rates. There's such a high amount of vacancies in commercial properties because people have had the opportunity to work from home and they don't want to go back. And my wife's one of them. She has no desire to go back to the office. She's more productive at home, and everybody she talks to is the same boat. They don't want to go back, so now they've got this empty office space that the companies don't want to pay for anymore. So they're downsizing. They're choosing to not renew the leases, and so there's a lot of property on the market that is going unleased and unsold. So I think it's usually like ETFs are not REITs. I mean, the real estate investment trusts, those were usually like guaranteed you were going to make money on REITs for the last at least 20 years. If you put money in a real estate investment trust, you were guaranteed to kind of get some money back. And that looks like it's getting turned upside down. I'm sorry, my dog's just kind of hacking up a little bit there. But so I don't think that was a major factor here, but it's probably one of major factors that's kind of affecting the U.S. economy in general.
There's another interesting thing, and I'm not sure how this plays out because I'm not a guru about finance, but I understand that in the U.S. housing market, at least, liquidity is very, very narrow and not non-existent, but there's not a lot of liquidity on the market.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to an agent at all about the condition. I mean, San Diego is kind of a weird market anyway. Even though the market's down, it's still not that bad compared to other places. So yeah, I don't know. It would be really interesting to get some opinion on real estate. I know, what do you call it? Who is it now who's into real estate? Don't see him in the spaces all that much anymore, but I think I'm going to try and reach out to him and get an idea of what it's like out there. Let's go into LunaSky news. I know we kind of talked a little bit about that. We're not going to get into too much detail. You're more than, and maybe Cody, maybe or Rocket may want to speak a little bit, but let's hold off for the AMA for the questions for LunaSky. We can probably get a really good update tomorrow. But we did talk about the Bandroids partnership, which is excellent. So I wouldn't be all that surprised if we heard some more details from Cody and Rocket in the future about other things going on. So cross your fingers, guys. Like I said, Sam will be doing a AMA tomorrow. Make sure you sign up for a reminder. He posted actually yesterday, great management team meeting just wrapped up. Very excited to catch up with the community on Sunday. And at the time, I kind of took a screenshot of this. It was at over 6,200 views. It's probably much, much higher than that now. He also did comment on OpenSea, kind of really called him out, and I really appreciate that he did that. He said how OpenSea broke their promises to very artists who generated them $5 billion in revenue, the ultimate betrayal. One of the most fundamental principles of NFTs is the artist can generate ongoing revenue from sales. In a similar way to non-digital artists can generate lifetime revenue from prints of a popular piece of art. NFTs were promised they would always get a cut of future sales. OpenSea became the world's biggest NFT marketplace in 2021, soaking up around 90% market share, making the founders rich beyond their wildest dreams with eye-watering multi-billion-dollar revenue. But OpenSea was never about creators. It was always a VC-funded, cold-hearted, money-making corporation. It never encompassed the feelings of the community that was the very essence of the NFT market. It never truly connected with its artists. On August 17th, OpenSea carried out the ultimate rug. They pulled and forced creator fees on secondary sales, in quotations, royalties, killing the long-term revenue of potential at any and all NFTs listed there. Many will say this move was forced by the success of Blur, but in reality, Blur had done equal, if not worse, damage to the NFT marketplace than OpenSea. Again, Blur isn't about supporting creators and artists, it's about volume, and their model has killed the floor price of NFTs and left the industry in tatters. Two dominating global platforms that have cannibalized their own industry and betrayed the very artists and creators who gave them success. The launch of LunaSky NFT will provide the only true alternative, can reignite the NFT marketplace once again, a platform built by creators for creators with contract enforced ongoing royalties and numerous innovative features designed to empower and benefit creators. A project that is focused 100% on its community. LunaSky will embrace their creators and artists and give them every opportunity for success. Hashtag LunaSky can't arrive quick enough. Bring it on. So well said. I don't know if Cody or Rocky, you want to kind of comment to that, but it was very well timed.
Yeah, I mean, man, OpenSea they handed us a birthday present. Like it's wild.
Yeah, it certainly.
They're making it too easy.
Yeah, certainly amazing timing, right? I mean, it's a shame, you know. I mean, they've gone back on the word, you know, and they're doing what they're doing, and you know, a lot of folks aren't happy with it, and I don't think any of us blame anybody not be happy with that. It's a creator's right to, you know, it's a creator's right to receive payment for their creations if they want to sell them. You know, so taking money out of their pocket is just a shame. I don't want to elaborate too much about that, but yeah, tomorrow during the EverGrow official AMA, we'll definitely go over LunaSky, give you some updates, some good bullet point updates. We'll go over all the products, you know, so yeah.
What do you think, guys? I mean, go ahead, Sid.
I just wanted to add to interesting articles that I read yesterday and today, about 5 or 6 of them, who all said that the vast majority of the 5 billion or whatever OpenSea made was not on the sales of NFTs, but on the fees, on the Ethereum fees that they made the money on. So that didn't really help anybody out but OpenSea.
I wasn't aware of that. So the fees, basically, you're saying is like they had a margin on gas fees.
Yeah, and the expense of Ethereum on minting on the Ethereum blockchain is extremely expensive. And yeah, the gas fees, and it's more than gas fees, but I don't know. You know, I'm not privy enough to the costs of minting to be able to explain that more. But just the vast majority, well over 50% of that 5 billion was just from Ethereum fees.
It's unfortunate because it seems like it's like most businesses, it's a race to the bottom when you have a competitor. Rather than being creative, the easiest thing is to fire your employees, right? How do we cut company expenses? We fire our employees, right? The people that are actually serving and making the product that is making you money, or serving their customer that is making you money. In this case, they went for the easy, the low-hanging fruit there and went after royalties. And I wonder, you know, if the artists that had listed initially with them knew that that was their plan, would they have listed with them and or not, right? I wonder, because it's kind of you kind of made a deal with somebody and now you're moving the goalpost on them.
Yeah, and not only did they not know, but a lot of these collections, they suffered serious expenses in just accommodating their whole program to block, blur, and essentially other platforms that weren't paying royalties, just so that they could receive royalties in OpenSea. They migrated their contracts. I mean, it was the whole thing. So all this money was spent. I don't know. This must have been 6 months ago. It wasn't that long ago. And now for them to just say, "Oh well, you did that for nothing," and we're also not going to pay you royalties, it's just a slap in the face. It's really disgusting.
It is, and another thing I'd like to say about that is the main number one reason why I don't forgive OpenSea is let's all remember that they were worth at one time over $14 billion. So they not only had the big majority of the pie of the NFT world, almost all of it. They all had all of the attention on themselves. They had the resources, they had the know-how, and yet they did nothing with it. They reached the top and they didn't innovate. They just stood at a standstill. The only thing that improved was the website, a little improvement here, a little improvement there on the back coding, but other than that, nothing. And we're talking about, again... Yeah, go ahead.
No, they got very complacent. You're right.
They did get very complacent. And again, $14 billion. And they could have done so many things to be groundbreaking and innovative. To really solidify themselves as the top and the best. Just some that come to mind, they could have, invented by themselves music NFTs. They could have, led the wave on that. They could have hired bands or even created themselves and just post music NFTs left and right. They could have bought a bunch of properties and put them on sale on OpenSea as where ownership is determined by whoever owns the NFT to really kick that, that market forward and really start innovating in the NFT world and create hype. But again, they did nothing. And it wasn't for lack. Most of us can't do that because we don't have the money. They did, and they still did nothing. And that's what I hate most. It's that complacency. Sam has talked about that many times, and he's right.
I agree with you, man, 100%. I think there was a lot of opportunities they had that they've missed. I mean, they're a huge corporation, right? Number one, we all know that, but they're a faceless corporation. I think one of the biggest things they're missing is what the smaller marketplaces have a massive opportunity to capitalize on, and that is actually not being a faceless business, being down on the ground, boots on the ground with the creators, being there with the creators, promoting the creators, right? I mean, how many times have you seen OpenSea promote specific creators? How many times have you maybe sent a ticket into OpenSea and gotten a reasonable reply in a reasonable amount of time, or even a personal reply from their help center? Never. Exactly. And these are the aspects that I think are really what's going to tie together a great marketplace going forward in the future versus what everyone is used to experiencing. It's like, how many times have we all heard, like, well, there is no help center for et cetera, there is no help desk for et cetera. It's like, so, faceless corporation, not supporting the community, not being down on the ground with the community. You got to get out there. You got to make friends. You got to shake hands. You got to be part of it. Sure, you can be this massive entity and still run really well. You don't have to be that type of business. But I think in this space, crypto, NFTs, the way it's evolving and where the possibilities are that it can go and apparently are going. I mean, music NFTs is a big thing. Bandroids' entire thing is a new innovative step towards the evolution of NFTs for the future, right? Who knows where it's going to go from there? I think that, obviously if they were smart, they would be more personal with the creators and the community, 100%. They certainly had the means to do it,
They totally messed it up. Here's the big question. I'll ask anyone, who do you know that's part of the OpenSea community? I mean, that's a joke.
Yep.
Like, there is no community. They're a transactional platform. That's it. That's all they've ever been.
Faceless entity, yeah.
And all you need is for someone to come in and try to do it cheaper, and they're going to get tossed aside, which is what's happening now.
I think
they never made the effort.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to echo chamber myself on this, but back to what we've always spoke about a lot in these spaces over the past almost 2 years now, um, customer service. 100%. Don't be a company or a corporation that your customer can't communicate with, doesn't feel like they're taken care of. As a user of your platform or a consumer of your product, right? You have to be there. You have to show them that they're most important because that's the way it should be with any business, big or small.
You all you have to do is read their communique to realize exactly how they feel about the market and and their users. It's very impersonal, very legal. They got the legal team to write it up, and there's just no heart and soul in it. It's just kind of a, I don't know, it just feels very, like I said, impersonal, and like they don't really care. And unfortunately, I hate to say, with venture capital, their interest is making money, right? Their interest is they're kind of pulling the strings on this. So the money comes at a price, and don't think that they're not gonna, like here's this marketplace that is designed for the user, but it's they're not really like thinking of the end user. They're thinking of, okay, well, how do we tweak this to squeeze as much capital out of it as possible, how much money we can get out of it. It's unfortunate because it almost seems at odds with the whole concept of NFTs, the whole concept of art, the whole concept of this, of the what an NFT marketplace should be. Um, I guess maybe because they got in so early and they were the first there, that they took advantage of a situation and they were able to capitalize on it. And good for them on that, but it's not going to last, unfortunately. Hassan, sorry to keep you waiting there. By all means, jump in.
No problem. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. How you doing today?
Good. Man, as soon as I saw the news about royalty stuff, I wanted to say this. Ori and Rocket and the EverGrow team, the ball is in your court, man. This is a great, huge opportunity. I used to believe that LunaSky might take like 10% of that market share. Now I believe it's greater. It's up to the team now when and how to take advantage of that. I believed and I still believe that if LunaSky is well presented and manage the traffic based on what happened in launch of another project. If you guys can manage all that and let people know when the royalty is gonna be there, guaranteed 100%, and that part of the revenue or the revenue goes back to holder, I still believe that has to be there, that people know, because I know, but if I'm a newbie, a first time user, and I see that message, hey, by holding this, I have the right to to share, to enjoy some of that revenue back, man, that's a triple win. So again, the ball is in your core team. No pressure.
And what an incredible gesture on their part to incorporate Lucro in some way, shape, or form into their project. I think that was pretty amazing for them to do that. And that just kind of shows the kind of people that they are, right? That this isn't just a business to them. There's passion behind it and understanding that they're part of this community and communities work together. So I'm really grateful for that. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for reaching out to them. Really cannot wait to see where this is going.
Steve, you said you made a comment about the low-hanging fruit, and I want to take you back to OpenSea in 2022. At the opening of the year, it came into that year as one of the strongest companies in crypto. According to Dune Analytics, the estimated revenue on the Ethereum blockchain peaked in January at $4.9 billion in crypto. And in July of 22, they laid off 20% of their workforce. It's an evil company.
Making so much money, and then again, how do we squeeze more money out of this thing?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to read one short little passage from their notice on the sunsetting of this program. And so they were sort of explaining why they're getting rid of royalties and sort of backtracking on everything they've done. And the way they described it was, and it is verbatim, but it required the buy-in of everyone in the Web3 ecosystem. And unfortunately, that has not happened. And that's pretty much their justification, is that everyone needed to obey, and everyone did not obey, so they're taking their ball and they're going home, essentially. It's just gross.
Pretty terrible. Pretty terrible to do that, and it was an easy out for them, right? Oh, we need everybody to participate in this to make it work. Too bad. It really is. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of, to be in such an incredible opportunity, right? And to be in such a position in the marketplace and to just drop the ball like that, just goes to show you that, you can be big one moment and, somebody comes along, and I hope LunaSky is going to be that somebody that comes along and just kind of makes you remember why you got in the business, right? So
Yeah, it's that complacency again that we've talked about. They were on top of the world for so long that they forgot they can be just as vulnerable as everybody else. And here we are. At the end of the day, everything moves, the wheels keep on turning, and if you don't evolve and show enough reasons for your consumers and your customers to keep using your product and your service, you're going to get left behind. And honestly, I'm happy that that's happening because, like Cody said, they're a faceless, super corporate entity. They have zero community. I told you guys a story when I did used to use OpenSea. That's where my NFT collection first started. And I remember having issues. And support, yeah, you weren't going to get an answer before 2 weeks at the very least. And so the only way I was able to get support was by going to their Discord. And the folks over there actually took their time and helped me. But you know what's sad is the fact that I had to go to Discord. And what's even sadder than that is how many of those members on Discord aren't even paid for the job that they do, or they're not paid enough. And we have those too. But the difference is we're not a $14.5 billion corporation. So I don't forgive that to them. And it's just a joke.
OpenSea has discarded what should have always been the absolute most important part of their business model. And that part is very simple, and it's one word, and that word is the people. They have discarded that, and that should always have been number one and always at the forefront of every business decision they made. And it wasn't. Why? Well, because like Moon said, they are that corporation. They are that big. They are funded by VCs and et cetera. And we have seen this play out 100 times over with these types of corporations. And what happens every single time? The people get the shaft first, and then what? The business crumbles. What do they expect to happen? They discarded the most important thing that should have always been number one. And shame on them.
Complacency and massive greed.
Who remembers when we first announced LunaSky that we're going to be building an NFT marketplace? And the main FUD that we got was that why bother? OpenSea is number one. They'll always be number one. You can't beat OpenSea. Everyone loves OpenSea. I mean, look what happened over the course of a few months. The market changes fast. And, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you're right. And to, like the proverbial question, why bother? Well, because they don't support the people. And that's why. And that's what we always wanted from the very beginning, was to be a marketplace that is for the people, about the people. It's not just a faceless run entity to make bukus of money on. Sure, we need to be solvent so that we can pay the bills from it. But the whole purpose, and again, going to echo chamber it because it's so important, is the people, the community, the users, and everyone supporting each other. And that doesn't just mean the people using it. That primarily means the people running it, supporting those people, improving and showing that day in and day out.
Yep. Yeah. For them, community was just a meme. It was something they would say that got people excited, but they never really understood what community meant.
Yeah, your goals have to be in line with your community goals. Obviously the goal is to, make profit. And I understand that from any business point of view, unless you're a nonprofit. And even then, a nonprofit still hopes to make profit. They just turn that money back over. But you've got to be profitable. There's no question about that. But I think their goals was to make as much money as possible on the backs of the NFT artists. Our goals are to build a community and be successful together. If we could do that, we're going to do just fine. Go ahead, Hassan.
That's right. Everyone's success is LunaSky's success. So we want everyone to be successful. That's the goal. Sorry to cut you off there. Go ahead.
Not at all. Go ahead, Hassan.
Yeah, one thing. We're all humans, right? And we are not absent, right, of those feelings, of those bad qualities. From we have more than others some those deep characteristic of humans that once you become too big to fail, you have to be really grounded, and keep humility and all that. What would happen if LunaSky become that big? How you guys are going to maintain honesty, transparency? That's one question. And the other is, how are you going to evolve if that happens, or hopefully when that happens?
That's a great question, huh?
You're going to promote from
really
within the community. Yeah, I think is one answer.
I agree with that 100%. Obviously, if things scale and they continue to scale, we will do the right thing as they scale. And I'll leave it at that. We could speculate all day long about what are those things, but the primary focus, as we've always said, is to ensure that the people are taken care of, the people using the platform. They're supported, they're cared for, and not only that, they're promoted. The company gets bigger and bigger and scales. Yes, we'll have to take steps to hire, right? There'll have to be there'll have to be hiring times, there'll have to be recruitments, things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be community first. I mean, that's really, regardless of what we do, as long as the undercurrent is community first, we'll be fine.
Yep.
If we get 3% of OpenSea's market share, Cody will be upgraded to a LunaSky Emperor.
No. There is no emperor. This is not a structural thing. This is a functional thing, right? There's no vice president of LunaSky or anything like that. We all run it together for those that run it, and all the people that use it are a part of that family and a part of that function.
LunaSky King, perhaps?
Absolutely not.
Or King.
Student. Always the student.
I think back of some of the stories you guys have told over the last, year. Right? It's 52 spaces now of just different instances where you guys have had to make choices that involve, taking care of, an investor, EGC investor or something, or when it was coming to LuCro, the fair launch and all this thing, and you guys had to make really difficult choices, but you always came at it from the ethical point of view. What do we do? How do we do this right? And as long as we stay on that track, I think we're going to do just fine. Be ethical about how you conduct yourselves. Look after your customer. Look after the people, right? And be fair. And you guys have always done that, so I don't doubt going forward how you guys are going to manage as you scale. So thank you guys. Or if you guys want to go ahead and talk a little bit about, as we were talking about EverGrow and LuCro, market-wise, obviously because of BTC, overall macro environment, we saw some pretty big sells over the past few days. And, although we saw some pretty big numbers, I think I saw 138,000 sell of LuCro at one point. If you follow some of these wallets, they're not just liquidating EverGrow and LuCro individually. They're going through their portfolio and they're liquidating their portfolio. So all assets. And go ahead, Rocket.
Yeah, and so it comes down to Bitcoin, right? So a lot of these larger whale wallet owners are watching Bitcoin, right? They do the TA, and if they notice and see weakness in Bitcoin, they know what happens when there's weakness in Bitcoin. Is it then falls to Ethereum, then falls to all the other alts, and so they try to front run the drop. And so I think we even had a sell off in I think it was in EverGrow. There was a big sell just before the Bitcoin drop.
Yep, it
someone did
was.
the TA, and it's like, all right, well, Bitcoin's about to beef it, so I need to get liquid again. And yeah,
That was the what 4 trillion sale. I don't know if it was
yeah.
It was
And
something,
I think a
couple
lot of
trillion.
folks forget that, while for a lot of us, our investment in EverGrow or LuCrow is a pretty emotional investment. Like it's important to us. The project community we're part of. For a lot of folks, it's not. It's just a token and a ticker, right? And they're watching charts and they're just making decisions based on charts. And so it's not there isn't always a matter of, oh, well, they bought because they have more belief, or they sold because they have less belief. Just the chart told them to sell or buy, and that's what they did. And that's
and it's the fear, Rocket. Sure. It's the fear from Bitcoin and watching that drop, and that just spreads like wildfire. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum, but mostly Bitcoin. And there's just nothing you can do to get away from that. It's going to happen every time. As long as BTC is on top, oh yeah.
That's a really good point. Where a lot of us are very emotionally connected to EGC, and so we don't necessarily understand why would you sell, especially with the release of utilities coming up. I've heard that so many times. Why would you release when we got LunaSky coming up? For a lot of people, they just don't care. It's just an investment. It's just another investment in their portfolio, and they're just trying to stay ahead of the market, right? And I get it.
Yeah, and for everyone's sanity, right? Like, you have to understand that, because if you see a large wallet sell, this is for any project, any stock, whatever. If you see a large sell, it doesn't mean anything for the legitimacy of the project or the direction trajectory of the project. It's really just, hey, it's one dude that looked at a chart and decided, okay, well, I got a sell signal, time to liquidate. It's that simple most of the time.
Yeah, it's that simple, because at the end of the day, like Steve said, the real traders may be invested in LuCrow, may be invested in EverGrow, but they're just traders, or they're just trying to make money. And the reality is, they see BTC with a big fall, panic, immediate panic, oh God, crypto's over, I got to sell everything. And we see this time and time and time again, because these people are not looking towards the future, towards, oh, our utilities are about to launch. They're not even part of the community. All they see is a BTC big sell. Oh God, gotta sell. That's it. It's as simple as that.
And you don't have to hate them for it, right? Like, it's just who they are, right? Like, it's what they came. It's the mentality they came in with. It's the mentality they leave with. It's the mentality they'll come back in with. It is what it is. You have different types of holders.
Right. It is what it is.
Yeah, they'll sell on the way down and buy on the way up. It's just,
If I may, I would like to share some really interesting numbers with you guys. At least I think they're quite interesting. This is from Live Coin Watch, and Bitcoin right now, this is our 24-hour numbers, is up 0.2%. ETH is up 0.61%. However, EGC is up 0.92, and LuCrow has leapt 6.54%. We're leaving BTC and ETH in the dust.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that too. I mean, LuCrow may be down 22% over the last 7 days, but still up over 70% over the last 30 days. So there's not a lot of high performers like that in the market, especially now. So enjoy it, guys. I'm enjoying the prices while they last, and I realize that it's just not going to stick around. The more we build, the more valuable LuCrow and EverGrow become.
Imagine when LunaSky drops and the Atlas wallet drops.
Yeah, and you start to see the apps on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. What is Atlas Wallet, right? And there's curiosity. And then have you ever seen an app when you see, like, oh my God, they got like 5,000 downloads or 10,000 downloads, and that is that free advertising in itself. So yeah, I'm super excited. I don't really have anything else, because I was gonna leave any news for Atlas Wallet, LunaSky, LuCrow Games, and all that stuff for tomorrow. I'll leave it for the team. But if you guys have some general questions that you want to, or even just open discussion, let's just do that right now. Anything you want to talk about, CW?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Cody and Rocket a question, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but also serious. When LunaSky drops, Is the server capable of handling 100,000 new artists in an hour? I think it's going to be overwhelming in the number of people that are going to come running to LunaSky, given all of the discussion about OpenSea and how much we in the community have promoted it.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be madness. Not even that, just as we've seen in the past, right? Anytime we launch anything, there's always a DDoS attack attempt. So we have to just prepare and expect that someone's going to try and take us down, because that's just how.
I just hope he's right.
Yeah, every time. It never fails. So we have to expect that. And yeah, Cody's been working on getting the load testing that we need done to make sure that we're ready.
Yeah. I was going to speak a little bit about that tomorrow. We can speak about it today too. It's all good. Absolutely, CWP. You're right on the money with this. It's extremely important. It's really one of the most important things, and this is just referred to as optimization. So, for anyone out there, what CWP is referring to is the optimization of the platform, the load testing, because you're going to have a ton of traffic hit it, right? At one time, you got to make sure it can handle it, doesn't crash. So, yeah, we are very, very focused on ensuring the optimization is the best it possibly can be, and it's thoroughly, thoroughly tested. We're actually in the process of that right now in several capacities, not only internally with the dev team, but just to be safe, externally outside of the dev team as well. We have an additional party who is helping monitor and test the optimization throughout the processes of the devs, doing what they do when it comes to all the things they do to optimize, right? From deferred coupling, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll get a little bit more into detail about that tomorrow too. And I'll kind of repeat what I just said, but maybe offer some additional details. But yeah, it's crucial because you're right. There's going to be a ton of traffic hit it. There's going to be a lot of things going on. And we want to make sure that we want to minimize the chance for any type of hiccups. We all remember what happened on the beta, and that was a huge failure of the beta launch. Just being blunt about it. It was a huge failure from the beta launch was the optimization aspect of it. And that's why when it launched, it totally crashed.
Do you believe that there's going to need to be a massive marketing campaign for people to have the awareness of LunaSky? Or do you think it's enough of the existing following of LunaSky, that we will have enough to get us started?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I think it's subjective because when you say massive marketing campaign, that's going to be subjective to the person and what they think marketing is, or what they maybe believe or feel proper marketing is to promote this. So it's hard to answer that with a yes or no. It's a bit subjective, but at the same time, as we saw Sam tweet earlier, right? Was that today? Maybe I think he said he was replying to somebody actually, and I read it. And I thought it was really, really insightful and very, very clear. He summarized it up. He said, "Look, in today's world, where we are now, the traditional way that you think marketing works is not going to benefit us. It's a waste of time and money." And he was referring to like big ads and things like that. So, but we're confident that the way that we're going to go about marketing these things, not just Luna, but the other utilities as well, is going to be the right way. And Sam will absolutely go into detail about that tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Go ahead, Max. You have a question? Welcome to the space. Appreciate it. Max Voss.
Yeah, I don't recognize him. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. You have a question for the team? Or a question in general, by all means.
Could be on desktop. Maybe it's not working as it claimed that it was. Is anyone on desktop right now that's a speaker?
I think most of us are.
I'm going to test that tonight. I hope it works.
Yeah.
So if you see Rocket hosting a random space, you don't have to join. I'm not saying anything important. I'm just testing the desktop.
Yeah, Max, if you're not on, maybe try mobile if you're not already on it, and then give us a try again. You might need to log out and then log back in. But we'll go ahead and remove you as a speaker right now, but more than welcome to come back over and try again. So yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about?
Oh my, what a question, Steve. Everything?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Everything and nothing and everything in between,
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Go ahead, Rocket,
well,
please.
Real quick, the good thing is that where we're at with LunaSky, It's really not. We don't have anything that we're really keeping super top secret at this point. So questions are totally fine. Other than specific marketing things that are, with, third parties, so to speak, that we don't want to, let the cat out of the bag before, the cat's ready to come out of the bag. We're pretty open at this point with everything that y'all want to know about.
Yeah, that's true. I think something that's cool, I'm kind of extra excited about, and this ties back into something everyone's already aware of, is the support messaging, right? So we've all seen Lisa out there. Lisa is Rocket's development. She is a bot that he put together for the support messaging portal. But what's cool is we have also decided and gone ahead and added a help center, right? So the help center is a separate page like you'd see on any platform, regardless of really the website. Most of them have them, right? What's going to be really cool is that we've already developed a ton of FAQs and a ton of user guide stuff that is in the help center. So if you ask Lisa, a question, something that would be considered in that help center as an FAQ, like what is an offer? Lisa's going to populate the link to that answer in the help center, and you can go and read about it, or how to mint an NFT, or what is minting an NFT. If you ask any of those questions, Lisa's going to direct you directly to the help center with a clickable link, and you're going to have an awesome FAQ or user guide to walk you right through the process. And then, of course, in conjunction, live support, right? If that's not enough and you need additional support, you will ask Lisa, and she will get you a real live person.
That is very, very cool. I appreciate that. Is there going to be, for the people who are on Discord, is there going to be anything on Discord for support for LunaSky?
Oh, Rocket, good question. I'm going to let Rocket answer that one.
So we do have help tickets and things set up on Discord, but here's the thing: and I don't think we've spoken too much about it. I'm assuming that everyone would assume this is going to happen. But we have already set up a LunaSky Discord. It's just not public.
Boom, there it is.
Wow.
So the answer is yes, Steve.
Dang.
And I want to throw in that for the LunaSky Discord specifically, Hawkish has been so just, amazing in terms of how much work he's put in to help us get the Discord set up.
Yeah.
So props to Hawkish if you see him.
Yeah, props to Hawkish on that. And let's give him a second prompt too, because all of the FAQs and the user guide stuff I wrote, and then Hawkish has been going through and editing and cleaning them up. So he's been spending a lot of time cleaning and editing those for us, which has been fantastic. So again, thank him for that. There are right now, and last thing I'll mention about that, I wanted to tell everyone is that with the FAQs and the user guide stuff, that's going to be evolving over time. There'll be additions to that. So the platform will start off with about, I think I have 10 FAQs, and they're the primary things you would want to ask when you're looking at the platform, like what is this button? What does that do? What does this mean? And then the how-tos, same thing. We're going to call them user guides, but they're how-tos, right? There's about 15 how-tos already, and that's all the primary functions you need to dive right in, start using the marketplace and understanding what you're doing. So it'd be really great. But there'll be things added to that over time. As we add integrations post-launch, they'll certainly be added quickly to the help center. So when you ask Lisa a question, she'll get you directed to that, or get you to a real person to help you as well.
Yeah, and a lot of this, especially right after launch, we're going to be relying on a lot of your feedback to make improvements as we go along, because because we launch LunaSky, it doesn't mean, Rocket and Cody get to go on vacation. We're going to be watching for all of the feedback so that we can make, on the fly changes and updates to improve the experience for everyone. Because no matter how many times we test it, who knows? Some user's going to find, a spelling error or something weird. Like, if you see any of that, let us know. And we have the capacity to make those changes pretty quick at this point.
100%.
Go ahead, Christopher. Thanks for your patience. Christopher, I don't know if you can still hear us. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm here. Sorry, it was my telephone.
Sure. Congratulations on your update on Discord. Congratulations. You got some second interviews coming up.
Correct. One company is called Newland Chase. The other one is a company that is searching somebody for temporary. But okay, we will see. I do my best. The funny thing is, this week I will drive with a bus to Germany. Yes, directly with a bus because I thought it is cheaper, and I will fly back on Tuesday. Yep, good. Let's hope. And furthermore, Newland Chase has an office in Frankfurt. Can be that I can go there to an interview. Also, I will work in the UK, but doesn't matter. I would be happy. Yes, let's get this done. So,
we are all wishing you very, very good luck. We hope it goes well for you.
it was now 4 months unemployment when I get one of these two jobs. I tell you honestly, 4 months. Where is this now? But okay. Good. My question, also two questions to two different topics. The first is, I asked this already in Discord. However, I got asked in Discord by Fifth the Drake. I shall ask you this directly. When we look on Safe Moon Swap, we see burnings. Yes, there were this week 3 burnings. Only some millions burned. Why only some millions? Because the lucro volume was higher. And the second question is, do you think tomorrow we will hear when release of all utilities is when we see Sam? I'm very curious and I will participate, but I don't want to come with questions tomorrow on Sam. What could be answered here now? Thank you very much. And thank you for the congratulations.
Of course. So as far as the million burns, I couldn't answer that. Maybe you guys could answer that.
Yeah, I don't know. Just being blunt about it right off the bat. I have no idea. Yeah, I'd have to look into that, actually. Guten Tag, Christopher. Congratulations. Best of luck, my friend. I'm really hopeful for you getting the job that you desire. That would be a good Paul question. Paul may know the answer to that. Yeah. I'd have to look into it. Oh, his second question, really quick, to make sure I was clear on that, was he asking if there will be release dates announced tomorrow?
Yes, I'm very curious.
The answer is no. There will not be release dates announced tomorrow. But yeah, so no.
Thanks for the questions, Christopher. Go ahead, Moon.
Thank you.
Did you want to say anything else, Christopher? I thought I heard him speak. I was just going to ask. So LunaSky is launching still with only 721 functionality, right? No 1155.
That's right. Yeah, 1155 is going to be one of the first things that we want to integrate after launch. Yeah.
All right.
Good question. I don't think I've heard any other ones that were. The rest of the questions that I've heard can wait till tomorrow, till the team's up. So just to confirm, it's 10 a.m. Pacific, my time, I believe. Yeah, looking forward to it all.
Yeah, it'll be great. We haven't done an official AMA in a while. You know, we don't do them too frequently because, well, Steve is the master of ceremonies and runs such great spaces. Keeps us all well informed here. So, but yeah, Sam said, "Hey, we're doing an AMA." We said, "Oh, okay, cool." He said, "Get ready."
I think the community was kind of asking, and some people, and you know, Sam is very responsive, so which I appreciate. He doesn't just ignore people. And if it's a legitimate request, he's certainly always answered. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about it. It's been a while, so looking forward to it.
Cody, I have a question for you. And my question is, besides the formal program that you are putting together to promote LunaSky, what can I do to promote LunaSky? And I don't mean that purely selfishly, but what can all of us in the community, what kind of tasks can we take up? Have you discussed some exercises to give us for those of us who would like to participate?
Well, that's a wonderful question, and just speaking from the company's perspective, really appreciate you asking that, CWP. It's a humbling thing to hear that, so thank you for asking. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, be an active member of the community. Comment on each other's tweets. Do we still call them tweets? Are they called X's now? I don't know. Comment on each other's stuff. You know, share each other's stuff. Comment and share the EverGrow ecosystems pages stuff. Those are going to be the most important things you can do. Rocket, I would like to defer to him for this too, because he might want to elaborate about that.
I do want to do
Oh,
more than that, though. If I can, if there's something I can do, I want to be a part of doing it.
that's what makes this community so great is that right there, things like that. But yeah, I mean, keep promoting each other, comment, like, share, retweet. Those are going to be the most important things you can do. Rocket's back, it looks like. I'd love to hear his thoughts on that too, 'cause I'm sure he's got some elaborations, maybe some more specifics, a little bit deeper. Rocket, he might be struggling to connect.
I'm going to need you to repeat the question because I got disconnected.
Okay, I'll be happy to repeat it, Rocket. I want to do something to help promote LunaSky beyond just what you guys officially are doing from the standpoint of the company. And I was asking what I can do, and I didn't mean it to be just about me, but what can all of us do in the community besides what we're doing already, which Cody just mentioned. Um, Continuing doing that, but I'm looking for something, I don't know, bigger and more important or more uh, that will get more responses than those things that are in other words, something that's more active than retweeting and commenting and liking on posts. Something that is uh, very engaging in some way. I don't even know
Okay.
what I'm asking.
I think I know what you might be asking. Maybe. We'll see. So, the biggest thing that anyone in the community can do, if you're an active member of the community, is grow your own personal reach. That's really the biggest thing, so that when you say something, when you retweet something, it has more impact, right? So focus on growing your reach outside of this community and engaging with people outside, not even about LunaSky, not about EverGrow, just engage with people outside of your community. So that when you do speak, it's heard more broadly. If all of us did that, I mean, we would triple, quadruple our reach in a number of weeks.
Here's a
There you
question
go.
that I have for you on that. How do you grow your reach without getting in the weeds of controversy and still being authentic?
So really, unfortunately with Twitter, it's just an algorithm game, is really all it is. So engaging with accounts that have meaningful content and engagement that's relevant, and really just getting to know these people, engaging genuinely, engage with people and engage with them. It's really all just a very technical way of saying make friends. As silly as that sounds, but the connections that you make are going to be invaluable, right?
Let's give him an example, Rocket. Like something I think of right off the bat when he says that, everyone, is how you'll see Rocket engage with folks that are not in the Evergrow community, right? And then he becomes friends with them, and the next thing you know, they're engaging with each other, and that just kind of catalysts off. I try to engage myself with things I'm interested in, music. So I follow a lot of music channels, and some of those lead to artists and creators, and et cetera. So yeah, I think that's a great tip. Is just trying to build your brand outside of the area that you're currently in. Meet new people.
You know what I think would be a huge reach and actually very effective as indirect marketing per se, but especially getting the word out there is, and also this is also an answer for what CWP was looking for, was what Paul mentioned several times now, which was the idea of holding his spaces, let's say, specifically a LunaSky spaces every day until the release. And what the members of the community could do is just be there and discuss and talk and whatever. But especially with that consistency, I think it would bring a lot of attention.
Yeah, I think bringing awareness to LunaSky and again the values that you guys stand for. We're a pretty tight community in here, but a lot of people outside of our community don't know who we are and what our goals are. And I think the more people we can share that with, the better. So how do we step outside? I mean, I know when when Threads first launched, I mean, you, Rocket, went to town over on Threads to kind of really like engage with people and really work with people, and you kind of came up with the whole Bzert thing, and I mean, it was just like it was pretty amazing to watch. I mean, it was a lot of work on your part. I mean, you were deep diving in that stuff, and it's something I couldn't necessarily do. But I'm curious, how is Threads, and is there still that kind of popularity to it, or is it kind of shifted back to X? Or
Before Rocket answers that question, I want to make one correction, just really quick in what you said. Not so much me over there. I went over there and checked it out, but Rocket had started this whole cult over there, Bzert, that you were talking about. And then, folks like Bard did a great job over there, marketing, building his brand too over there, and several others. So, props to them. Not so much me. This was all them. This was Rocket. This was Bard. This was some other community members. So CWP, a great example that Steve brings up right there, is them going over there and meeting new people and building their brand, Rocket, to answer Steve's question.
Yeah, so the engagement there will just obviously a fresh platform is going to get a lot of people. That's definitely dropped down. So the hype on that's dropped down. Me personally, I haven't had a whole lot of time to be too active there. I had some stuff happen just personally, and that kind of threw off my whole mojo for a bit. And it's been harder to multitask and juggle that. But yeah, I mean, the connections I made there have come over on the Twitter. I mean, they've come into EverGrow and LunaSky. I mean, you'll see people that are part of the community now that weren't before I started the cult on Threads. Yeah, so it was absolutely worthwhile, and it's still worthwhile. I wish I had more hours in the day.
do you think with the algorithm the way it is, a lot of times what you see on Twitter is really what you're fed? And so how do you get outside of that space to kind of discover new people and build those connections? Or do you just kind of have to work with what you got?
It's what I'm saying. So you have to really just find folks that are outside, find folks you don't normally talk to or hear from, right? Do a search for a topic maybe, and just find folks and engage there, because all of your retweets, all the spaces you're on, everything you do gets broadcasted to your followers and the people who engage with you. And if that group is the same group of people for all of you, then we don't grow, right? We stay the same size. And so the more you can outreach and just get folks replying to you that are from outside your community. I mean, obviously in NFTs and Web3, that'd be ideal if you can find folks there to talk to. But especially now with the way that Elon is incentivizing creators now, I mean, people are really into engagement, and if you engage with them, they will engage back because they want the engagement. So it's a prime opportunity.
One thing that I don't know if a lot of people here watch YouTube. I pretty much have YouTube open all day. But one way they solved that. So the idea that you want to get out of your own little circle, little bubble, and you want to see new videos from new creators and not just be recommended the same things over and over again by the algorithm, was they added a little button that says, "Do you want something new for you?" And if you click that, you'll get a fresh new list of videos of things you've never heard of that you are not in the communities. And you can just, get into new stuff just like that with the press of one button. So I really think that was very smart of them to do. And something that Twitter really needs to implement, because like Rocket said right now, if you want to get out of your own bubble, there's really no way for you to do so unless you go on the search and search for some specific topic, and then you'll find it. But there's no real recommendations of new things to you. And that's where YouTube really solved it really well with a click of a single button. I actually really like that feature.
Yeah, totally. And one trick too is if you find an account, and obviously these are real people accounts, not accounts that are just saying, who's active right now or show me your best altcoin. Like those accounts are useless. I ignore those entirely. But if you find a bigger account and you notice that he or she is engaging with the folks that are replying, I mean, get into those conversations. Follow those people that are talking to them. Because if they're replying to them, it means that their comment showed up higher on the comments list because they have more connections, mutual connections together. So those are the people you want to start to engage with, right? So you can be, one less degree separated from that influencer you want to engage with.
Great advice. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I've got to venture out a little bit more and just kind of explore kind of just new connections. I just
Yeah.
feel like I almost felt like when you see people really get big, like numbers don't really matter to me. Like I honestly, for good or for bad, I really don't care if I have 100 people follow me or 10,000. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is that I bring people to kind of together, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
this whole connection, you know what I mean, of supporting each other, like for instance, like, we got Ultraviolet, like she's got her community that she's working with their new platform and with their new with their new project. And so even though she's kind of doing her thing, I still support her, you know what I mean? And I want to maintain those connections, legitimate connections where I really truly care about these people. You know what I mean? I don't want to get away from that. And I don't know I guess I'm worried if you grow too big, you lose that. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think you do, because at the end of the day, you're still going to have those core people you connect with, but you're just going to have more reach, right? Because not everyone's going to engage with you every day, right? Someone with 100,000 followers, 100,000 likes on their tweet. So you're only going to get engagement from a core group anyway. But in order to find one new person that's as important to you as the folks you already engage with, you might have to add, have 100 people follow you. So it's a numbers game in that regard. And so, yeah, try to work on the numbers. They may not seem like they matter, but they matter for reach.
And how would that work for like a corporate account or something for, let's say, EverGrow or for LunaSky or for Atlas Wallet? How do you maintain the integrity and the authenticity of that account and still grow your numbers?
So it's a lot harder because you have to have more of a corporate voice on those accounts. So I can say things on my personal account that I definitely wouldn't say on the EverGrow account, and that's okay, right? Because I'm still bringing people to the same community.
Good advice, man.
And one thing, oh, sorry to cut you off, Steve. But one thing that Rocket said that I have to really say again, how right he is those accounts on Twitter mainly, where they just say, show me your NFT, and then a little hand pointing downwards, or I'm buying an NFT today. What do you got? Just don't engage with those. They are the biggest time wasters of all time. And when you do engage with them, the only thing you do is give them engagement by commenting and by being part of it, because you get nothing out of that.
Not
So
only
they
that,
are.
it hurts your engagement, because if they don't engage back, that's a tick against you in the algorithm. So whenever you're
Oh, right.
accounts, yeah, it hurts you. So ignore those people. You don't have to block them, but yeah, just ignore them, because they're just toxic. They're just leeches.
Absolutely, but that's the worst of it. They're leeches under the pretense of helping you. Man, that's really the bottom of the barrel, man.
Yeah,
Well,
it's bad. And so I'm so jaded now that basically, because most of these are usually they're usually a Bored Ape profile picture, or like a mutant ape or something. And so I just always assume those folks are bots. And there's this one guy though that he's legitimately a good dude. Like, he will engage with everyone. He has like, I don't know, 50, 60,000 followers. But yeah, every now and then you find real people, but they're rare. So for those accounts, yeah, you got to make sure they're posting real content that's interesting and it seems like a human wrote it. Otherwise, just ignore it.
so what about those accounts that, where I see members of our community where they're like, hey, what project are you buying today? And of course we got so many people in EverGrow that'll go ahead and share Lucro, EverGrow, and all that stuff, and I see that as a positive. Do you think that's not necessarily a positive?
I think it's a neutral. I mean, if I'm being honest, and this is me, Rocket, personal opinions. Not I'm not speaking for anyone else on the team for EverGrow, but I think they're just they're mostly wasting their time and they're hurting their own engagement and their own reach. So when they do say something of value, less people see it. I don't see any value to those games, because here's the thing: you can post a comment on there saying EverGrow is awesome, is the best. No one's going to see your comment, and there's proof of this because you can see the impressions that each reply gets now. I mean,
true.
No one's seeing that you said that, so why say it? You're not. You're hurting your own account. You're giving engagement to a troll that's just going to keep on. I don't know. Yeah, in a minute, buddy. Sorry. You're just giving engagement to this account. They're getting this positive feedback loop to keep doing this nonsense, and you're just hurting your account. I think it's worthless.
So, other than the method that you talked about with just growing your audience and all that stuff, what other things can you do? Do you have to like create original kind of posts?
Not
and then
real.
No, I'm just wondering if other alternatives.
Replies. Just find like real accounts and reply meaningful things to real accounts, right? Big real accounts. And so if you notice, I mean, just watch the accounts that I reply to, the big ones. I mean, they usually engage back, because if they didn't, I wouldn't be engaging with them.
Oh, okay. You want fast engagement? Here's a double-edged sword. Anything political.
Oh God.
And I mean anything political. And it's a double-edged sword, because you'll get that engagement, but you'll be stabbed to death.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, and the hilt is also bladed. No, thank you.
Moon, thank you for that segue. I wanted to ask about my other Twitter account, X account, because it is extremely political, and I have tried to figure out some way that I can worm into that group and promote EverGrow, etc. Because I have over 18,000 followers there.
So the thing is, promoting EverGrow is the wrong, and again, I'm speaking just as Rocket, right? Promoting EverGrow is the wrong approach. You should be connecting with people, and just by the fact that you're now connected with these people, that promotes EverGrow, because the things that you're posting with EverGrow. So you won't see me posting shills on people's accounts, unless it's a joke, right? Unless it's like they made it really, really easy for me. But usually I'm just engaging with people. But my tweets, a lot of them are about LunaSky. And so people are always asking, what is LunaSky? And then I educate them.
Yeah, this is a good point. I want to chime in really quick, because I spend a lot of time just like replying. Like Rocket said, it's more important to just reply, right? So I spend a lot of time like hanging out in the underbelly music side of Twitter, right? Just the things I'm interested in, my passions, specific genres, etc. I spend a lot of time replying to some of those tweets and some of those pages. I never mention a thing about crypto. I never mention a thing about EverGrow. I kind of keep it separated, right? However, occasionally I do, because people see me replying more and more, and then they'll reply back. Every now and then they check out the profile, and then they ask me, like, so, like, you're a crypto guy or this, that? I'm like, oh, yeah, my page is predominantly crypto. And I don't elaborate, right? I'm not going out there and shilling. Like, I'm just making connections and building relationships with people around the things I'm passionate about outside of, crypto, specifically like music, right? For an example, or politics for UCWP, same thing, right? And like Rocket said, they start asking questions sometimes, and then 1 out of 10 of them are also a holder, and they're like, oh yeah, or I know about this, or I've heard of that, or no, I've never heard of that, I'll check it out. So pretty cool. Because when you go out of your way to start shilling it, you turn people off real quick. The first thing they're going to do is say bye.
Yeah. Think about how you feel when you see someone shilling another project.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you just don't see it anymore, and that's sadly, that's how you're going to be seen if you just shill EverGrow on these accounts.
Yeah, just be who you are. Comment, reply, make friends. Talk about your passions. And those who are really interested and really engaged, it'll be more than surface level for some of them with you.
The exception there is memes. So if you make a good meme,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. And that's even been proven in the ad space. Ads that are well done memes outperform normal ads by so many times. Even in the ad space. But yeah, if you're shilling just for the sake of shilling, I agree with Rocket. It has the total opposite effect.
And for me,
Should I
like when
change my profile on that account to include something about crypto and EGC?
No, I wouldn't, because again, if the goal, it depends on your goal. If your goal is to connect with people and have people connect with you, having something that represents you is more valuable than having something that represents the project you're part of. Again, this is just my opinion, right? Like, there are plenty of arguments you can make against what I'm saying, but I'm just telling you from my experience.
But you're right, because someone from the outside, the first thing they'll think is that even a real person? Immediately.
Yeah, that's a shill, right? Because that immediately the thinking is, oh well, that's a shill. Like I have, for example, I have the EverGrow little square in my name, and everyone assumes, oh, it's great because it gets you visibility. It's like, yeah, but also it makes me look like a bot. So it's not like, it's a double-edged sword.
when I see people who make original posts, something that really really captures my interest, and something that you could tell was really thought out. Who knows? Maybe it was AI, but that's when I look at it, I read it, and then I go and see what else they've posted, and then I will check out their profile, and then I tend to, if I've made it that far, I'm probably going to follow them because they piqued my interest. They have intelligent things to say. It might not even necessarily be anything that I follow on a day-to-day basis, but I think engaging with real people and who are passionate about what they care about, and I tend to stay out of politics a little bit just because I watch it enough on TV, and I don't really think there needs to be another voice on Twitter for politics. But it just seems like it's so rare to find a really good post other than just the 99% that I see out there is just kind of rinse and repeat shilling. So
Exactly. Yeah, and making a really good post is sort of like your storefront, right? And then the marketing is you replying to other accounts, because when you reply to other accounts, then people start to wonder, well, who's this guy? And they'll check and see what you've done. Now, your pinned tweet is really important for that. Your pinned tweet is basically your ad space. Just be mindful of that.
you've gone in kind of the rabbit hole in this one, haven't you?
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, you've done all the hard work. Yeah. Do you find it kind of pretty interesting to get right in and on deep level on this stuff? Because I know you've kind of gone in there in the past, and every time back when it was Twitter, you would kind of fill us in on how the algorithms changed. Do you find that's kind of really you kind of really enjoy that sort of thing?
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of accounts you can follow that do much better work than I do. Like they really dig in deep. Um, uh, One of them is Zero, so XERO. He's a SEAL. There's NFT God is fantastic. Just look at the algorithm.
NFT God, absolutely follow that guy. Absolutely follow that guy.
He's a legend.
I've got so many of his tweets bookmarked. Yeah, he's great.
And Rocket, is it true?
So he will reply to you, and so will Zero. Again, that's a trend you're going to notice. These accounts that are worth engaging with, they engage back because they understand how the algorithm works.
Rocket, is it true that like you get shadow banned more easily now to prevent? I guess it's to prevent chills.
Yeah, I mean it's always been pretty easy to shadow ban, but they move the goalposts around a lot. So yeah, I mean it's pretty easy.
Thanks for all the input. When I first asked the question, I was looking for, because I guess I'm lazy, actually a list of people that would be best to follow. And you've already given me some ideas. I don't know if you want to publish any kind of information about suggested people to follow.
Sure.
I'd
I
be
will give you guys
happy.
an opportunity to engagement farm them actually, and I'll tag them in a post. And so yeah, I will. I'll try to do that maybe over the next couple days. Just start promoting accounts that I know are worth following, and just like keep an
Great.
eye out.
Sorry, the last part cut out. I didn't hear you guys.
What was that? I get cut off.
Oh yeah, the last part of what you said, I didn't hear
Oh
it.
yeah, I'll try to publish a little list of those and tag them. So just be on the lookout, and I'll let you know who's worth following, engaging with, that actually engages back.
Much appreciated. Guys, I hate to cut this close, but I have to prep for Hurricane Hillary here and get the place ready. And we may have to go to a hotel tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the space short. But my apologies for that. Thank you guys for being here today, and yeah, just for sharing your Saturday. Really, really appreciate it so much. And let's do this again next Saturday. Cody?
You're going to have to go to a hotel, Steve?
Might have to. Yeah, we're expecting some 75 mile an hour plus winds and up to in some places 7 inches of rain. So we'll have to see how it goes. But we might have to bug out.
Please don't get blown out into the Pacific Ocean. We need you, buddy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
That's all I was going to say is thank you so much as always, Steve. We love you, man. Stay safe, take care of your home and your family, and keep us updated, man. Definitely.
We'll do. The worst of it, I think, is tonight into tomorrow. And yeah, I don't know if you saw the picture I posted of the water at the grocery store. The shelves were cleaned out. Nobody wanted Gatorade, but they wanted that water. You know, so kind of
Nobody needs electrolytes these days. Come on.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, guys. And Cody Rocket, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, it's so exciting to bring on a new project. I cannot wait to hear how this is going to evolve and what other partnerships we're going to develop in the future. So, thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into more details tomorrow, everybody. We'll talk about everything we can and then some. So.
Sounds good. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a great rest of your weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks again, Steve.
Thank you. Take care, guys.